Call the meeting to order. City Manager, please call the roll.
Councilmember King,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilcoxen,
Present.
Mayor Brown,
Present.
Councilmember Sweet,
Present.
Councilmember Tucson, Councilmember Simmons, Councilmember McLean. The 4 present and 3 absent. There is a quorum.
Please rise as you're able for a moment of silence in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll entertain a motion for agenda approval.
So moved. Support.
Changes or additions? Seeing none, all in favor of the agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okey doke. All right, this is our first opportunity for public comment. If there's anyone in the audience who'd like to address council, please raise your hand.
Anybody online?
Anybody?
No one is currently online.
And I will close public comment. I didn't pass out the resolutions because, yep, I just said that.
The first resolution could just be a motion to rescind.
Okay.
I can do
Yeah, pass it to Steve. Thank you. Here, Evan. All right. Mayor Pro Tem.
it.
You don't actually have to read it all into record. You could just.
I move to rescind, where is it? Rescind resolution 2024-072. That was passed on April 16th, 2024. Support.
And then do we just call the roll on that?
Unless you would like
Is
discussion.
there discussion? Please call the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilcoxen,
Yes.
Mayor Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Sweet,
Yes.
Councilmember King.
Yes.
With 4 yes and 3 absent, the motion carries.
Thank you. Councilmember Sweet.
Resolution number 2024-075, resolved by the Council of the City of Ypsilanti, whereas the City of Ypsilanti operates a building department for the issuance of building permits and inspections through the city, and whereas the staff presented incorrect information at the April 16th, 2024 meeting, changing the recommendation for a provider, and whereas Carlisle Wortman is the lowest cost qualified provider, and now therefore be it resolved that the Ypsilanti City Council approve the contract with Carlisle Wortman and authorize the city manager to sign on behalf of the city, subject to the approval of the city attorney, and I so move.
Support.
It's supported. Good morning.
Good morning. I'll be quick. I put it in the memo. I erroneously made an error. I made an error in the spreadsheet when I was calculating the costs. And it made Carlisle Wortman's bid about $108,000 more than what their actual quote had been. I have included all of the quotes for all 3 companies in the packet. And Carlisle Wortman is actually, it should actually be a net savings from what we're paying now, based on the estimates, and still, a total of $30,000 roughly less than the safe build bid annually. And so that error was huge, and it obviously changed staff's recommendation. And we have spoken to both companies. Carlisle Wortman is a local company with the lowest bid that is fully qualified to do the work. And while Safe Build is a fantastic company, they both have their pros and cons. But definitely there will be a lot of continuity based on the fact that we currently are using Carlisle Wortman for our plan review. Staff sincerely apologizes for this meeting and for the mistake.
Thank you. Any questions or council?
And- Yeah, that was gonna be my question. How was the mistake made?
The mistake was made in the spreadsheet where there was an extra 0 put in the per month retainer for Carlisle Wortman, just working out the spreadsheet. And so it went from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month, which is a huge difference. And so it was a simple keystroke error. However, it was mine. And so I sincerely apologize.
Did you notice before they reached out or?
I did not.
Okay.
When they reached out, I went through everything again. I realized the mistake. I emailed immediately and took care of it. So.
Any other? Mayor Pro Tem?
There was a difference in, difference for the criteria that they use for their estimates. How do you harmonize that information?
Yes. So the information was harmonized based on the fact that right now we are having 5-day-a-week inspections. We will be going down to 3-day-a-week inspections with either one of these providers, looking at the 4-hour minimum requirement versus the per inspection fee, and the per inspection fee was averaged out over a 5-year period. That's how we got the totals that we had of Carlisle Workman being 58,500 and Safeville being 59,280. So those are averages.
So, it would be helpful for me in the future to have, that information readily available. So
Okay.
if these things are drastically different, seeing how you went about making that calculation, if you took 5 years of data and all I see is the end numbers, that's not really helpful for me to.
What I will do, and I apologize for not having that for you, I will get the information to you this morning.
Okay.
Because I do have that. I have how the calculations were made, the total number of inspections, the averages and estimates. I will get that out before noon.
Cool. So that goes back 5 years
5 years and then averaged monthly.
monthly. And the fact that, I mean, it is weird. And I have to do the same thing. It's just like I have multiple quotes at the moment that I have to reconcile to figure out who's giving me the best deal.
Yes.
And it's difficult. When I saw 10,000, I was like, boy, that's really expensive, but I don't know what the
The reason why I didn't create any red flags is the high bid was $250,000. The low bid was 100, the medium bid was 180. Those 3 bids made sense.
Yeah.
To be in that range. If anything, Carlisle Workman's bid would have been a complete outlier. But in talking to them, they want our business. They have worked with the city for 15 years. They want to keep that business. They know how essential it is to retain the businesses they have. And so they actually cut us a deal with this amount based on our meeting yesterday that the city manager and I had. This was a sharpening of the pencil aggressively to get our business.
do we get a multi-account discount? I mean,
That's kind of what,
Kind of what's
kind
happening.
of what's happening, yeah. So if they can keep our code enforcement business and do our business inspection, that's how they can actually reduce the cost of the building official.
so if we looked at the long-term application of farming these things out, outsourcing this, I mean.
That
if
is
they're-
one, yeah, that is
if
one
they're
thing that
less than we had with Pittsfield, then I'm guessing it could be cost savings compared to benefits and.
so here's where it's a little bit harder. With Pittsfield, it was a $30,000 a year contract, but that was broken out hourly depending on how many hours we needed the building official. Okay. And so that plus the $45 to $55 per inspection fee equaled out to more than $70,000 a year, just overall, like the average. And so this, like I said, when this would have set off some alarms for me, and that's why the 10,000 just made sense in that moment. However, I was not part of those interviews with Carlisle Wortman, and so that's one of the problems that happened before I came on board. And so they really sharpened their pencil to actually get the quote. There are some pros and cons to a per inspection base versus a per hour. Per hour, you can usually do more inspections per hour, but they have the 4-hour minimum, which means if we have 2 inspections in a day, we still have to pay for 4 hours. If we have 15 inspections in that day, we pay for the 4 hours. And we want to have the consistency of 3 days a week. And so that's where it's kind of hard. We would be paying more over here, less over here, where the per inspection, if we have 2 inspections that day, we're going to pay $150. If we have 10 inspections a day, we're going to be paying $750.
Does your spreadsheet break down the average time for inspections, or is that
It-
collected?
So that actually isn't collected based on the fact that an inspection at Clark Road or the Thompson Block is going to be far longer than an inspection to go check out me putting up a wall at my house.
Right, so average, median, and extremes are helpful in making that assessment as well, but.
Yeah.
um,
So there is no way to really calculate that. Like I said, I do think the percentage model that McKenna is using is is really, really benefiting the consultant, to be honest, because they actually, regardless of what they provide, what we bring in, they get 75% of it. So then it goes to the per hour versus the per inspection model. But really the value we're receiving in this contract would be the building official for $12,000 a year, which is a substantial savings. Right now, it's a third of what we're currently paying. And so there's a little bit higher on the inspection, but a much lower on the building official.
This is a 1-year contract, right?
Yeah, so 1 year. contract.
And, you know, they're in the business of making money and providing services. So can we request that granular data from them? As in, you did inspections, there was a 4-hour minimum, you did this. How long did it actually take you?
So
That,
this isn't an hourly contract, so this would be a per inspection contract, so we can
Right.
ask them to estimate the hours. They seemed like they were very big on making sure we right size what we're doing.
Right.
And so and correct me if I'm wrong, city manager, they seem very open to work with us on data, making sure our permit fees are set correctly, not just high enough to cover the fee, but correctly. And so we will have much more granular data than we ever have had. Not that, and Pittsfield provided a wealth of data, but the inspection piece, it was just a per inspection. And so,
so it's $75 per inspection. So with this contract, they could do 80 inspections a day. And whereas I'm looking at the safe built and they're like 95 per hour with a 4-hour minimum. 4-hour minimum for inspections or 4-hour for that one inspection?
or our minimum for the inspections that we can schedule within that day based on the amount of time allotted. And it's not like they would inspect, like it would basically be a 4-hour chunk. That's what we would hire at first and then work from there. But basically if the inspections don't get done within that 4-hour window, they would like, we could have issues. Whereas if it's per inspection, regardless of how long the inspection takes, it's still a $75 charge.
So with this safe build, it's roughly $100 an hour, 4 hours minimum. Every day there's inspections, we're paying $400. With the Carlisle Workman, it's $75 per inspection, and in that 4 hours, they could run
Typically, we're gonna run six
six
max, maybe 8. But some days 2, some days none.
so then those charges don't accrue.
We pay for what we're getting instead of paying the fee.
Right, so with the safe built, if there's 2 inspections and they take 45 minutes apiece, we're still paying $400. I look forward to seeing the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
That would be very helpful.
Like I said, I have it pretty much ready.
Councilmember King?
I just have one final question. Do we suffer anything from appointing Safe Building now, taking it back from them and giving it to Carlisle Workman?
Contract was never sent to them, so there is no contract in place.
Okay, thank you.
And this was brought forward from Carlisle Workman because they were surprised they didn't get the contract.
No, they saw that my numbers were incorrect. But they weren't, they were upset that they didn't get the contract, but when they saw the error, they brought it to our attention. When I fact checked and saw that the error was correct, I sent out the emails. I believe you all should be on them.
Okay.
And like I said, this was not Carlisle Wortman's error that they put in a spreadsheet. This was my error.
Further questions or discussion from council? Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
City Manager, you can call the roll.
Mayor Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Sweet,
Yes.
Councilmember King,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Wilcoxen.
Yes,
Motion carries with 4 yes, 3 absent.
Thank you. This is our second opportunity for public comment. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to address council, please raise your hand in person or on Zoom.
No one is currently on Zoom, Your Council.
All right, I will close public comment. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Council. I'm really sorry.
I don't have anything to sign here like last time.